Temporarily from the outskirts of Atlanta, Georgia, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, June 23rd, 2016. Silver is trading at $17.31 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,261 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $583. Antiwar.com reports while the administration continues to publicly tout their progress in the war against the Islamic State in both Iraq and Syria, claiming they are suffering massive territorial losses and major defeats on the ground, a growing number of U.S. officials are warning that the group is not at serious risk yet. Intelligence officials argue that the perception that the Islamic State is suffering some losses is costing them their image of invincibility among Sunni Arab groups, but that the reliance on Shiite and Kurdish militias might bolster the locals' sense that the Islamic State is on their side. The comments in many ways mirror a recent UN report on the Islamic State war, which similarly concluded that the setbacks they are suffering on the ground aren't amounting to much, and that the group remains in a strong position regionally. The intelligence officials are further predicting that taking cities like Fallujah away from the Islamic State is easier said than done, because even if they lose those cities, they'll likely keep pushing the Iraqi troops in those cities and preventing the military from retaining any meaningful control.
For nearly 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. They also take Bitcoin for precious metal purchases and have permanently removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
UPI reports Democratic lawmakers in the U.S. House of Representatives, including some of the party leaders, set on a new path Wednesday to force the Republican-controlled chamber to take gun control more seriously in the wake of the Orlando shootings. Called No Bill, No Break, the sit-in demonstration's namesake alludes to the upcoming 4th of July holiday recess for Congress and seeks to spur GOP lawmakers into taking action before then. The sit-in saw Democratic legislators plunk themselves down on the House floor, often chanting over commands from Republicans for order. Led by civil rights advocate Representative John Lewis of Georgia, more than 24 Democrats began the protest shortly before noon on Wednesday. The protest was still going on as of Thursday morning. A live broadcast of the House floor provided by C-SPAN was ultimately switched off Wednesday afternoon because Republicans called for a recess, a standard practice by the political broadcaster. Some Democratic lawmakers, though, have implied that Republicans had the C-SPAN coverage terminated because they don't want to give the protest any more exposure than necessary. C-SPAN, though, addressed the speculation by saying they had no control over U.S. House TV cameras. C-SPAN's political editor, Steve Scully, tweeted, "Blame Congress, not C-SPAN." Some Democratic senators from Congress's senior chamber even took part in the sit-in, including presidential candidate Bernie Sanders.
In 2115 New England, there are no borders, no states, and no regulations, yet never has a more peaceful and prosperous place existed. But Mr. Drake's security company has seen better days. Faced with the prospect of waning power, Mr. Drake intends to replace the anarchy of New England with a government. But at what cost? Will anybody care? And can anyone stop him? Anarchy in New England by Joe Jarvis is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores.
Reuters reports a Texas man charged with causing the death of his 6-month-old daughter by leaving her in a hot car put the baby in a refrigerator after finding her in desperate condition in the back of his vehicle, according to documents released on Wednesday. Michael Thetford, a 33-year-old unemployed high school teacher, was arrested in Collin County outside of Dallas on Tuesday. He was charged with manslaughter and released on bond. According to a probable cause affidavit released on Wednesday, he dropped off his 2 other children, ages 3 and 5, at daycare, but forgot his baby daughter in the back of the car. He went into his house and fell asleep. Some 4 hours later, he discovered his daughter strapped into her car safety seat. The affidavit said he took her out, placed her in a refrigerator for an undetermined amount of time, and called 911. He later placed the baby on the kitchen floor and attempted CPR before emergency responders arrived. He said his daughter was stiff and hot as a brick when he found her in the vehicle. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.